Hey, Kieran, what's up, man? I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes until some people trickle in here because it normally takes probably like 5-10 minutes for people to hop in. So I was just gonna give it a couple.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Martin. Is Martin there already?
He's not. He said he would be joining, but he didn't come up on stage yet.
Okay.
Yep, there he goes.
Hello guys.
Hey, Martin. Cool. If you guys can also just share the space so that way it just gets out there and we can get started any second now. Happy Friday. Cool. All right, you guys want to get started? Should we start with just a quick intro? I'll start off. This familiar Cal from the on the THORChain account. I'm with Nine Realms. We do primarily infrastructure and security for THORChain, and happy to be hosting this AMA with you guys today. With Rango and Kieran from RocketX, and this is kind of celebrating the integration with RocketX and Rango, and obviously Rango being an aggregator of THORChain swaps. So we thought we wanted to just get together and just learn a little bit more about the RocketX platform, and then what you guys are offering, just like what your whole like product is, and yeah. So good to have you guys on.
Sorry, did I miss something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's not so clear.
Oh, wait, let me check my headphones.
I think familiar call. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Is this Martin?
Okay. Yep.
Hey,
It's,
Martin. Hey
hey,
again.
how are you?
Good, man. Thank you.
So familiar make an intro about themselves as well as our integration and your platform. So do you want to uh, make an intro about you and RocketX?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure being part of this Twitter space and share more details about RocketX and our integration with both Rango as well as THORChain. Well, about myself, I come with 20 years of experience in the financial services domain. I have been working with some of the leading banks across the world all my career, implementing banking solutions uh, to improve the processes and user experience for their customers, and also payment solutions. So that's been my career, and yeah, around 2016-17, I started exploring crypto space. First came to know about Bitcoin, and then I was really fascinated by the entire distribution ledger technology, that you don't need a bank or a centralized entity to be able to have access to financial services. That's just mind blowing, and giving the power back to the common man. And everybody can contribute to the network, and everybody can reap rewards. So that's a really amazing concept, and that's where I started exploring more about crypto space. And yeah, the journey with RocketX started a couple of years ago. And what we do at RocketX is primarily aggregate all the centralized and decentralized exchanges. Uh, so we have so far aggregated on our platform leading centralized and decentralized exchanges, and we give access to 300 plus dexes and the top 6 centralized exchanges on our platform. And our approach has been like, we don't want to reinvent the wheel again on the dex side. There are really very good aggregators in the market, both on-chain and cross-chain swap. And that's where we have partnered with Rango for the cross-chain DEX swaps, where you have done an amazing job in integrating all the leading cross-chain bridges in the market. I think 20 plus bridges. I don't know what's the number right now. Maybe you can throw some light when it is your turn. And yeah, as part of that, you have also already integrated THORChain, which has been revolutionizing the way one can access cross-chain swaps, primarily with Bitcoin, where otherwise they're just lying in people's wallet. And even if you want to use your Bitcoin, it's a cumbersome process. And a truly decentralized way to make swaps with Bitcoin across, I think, 7 or 8 blockchains right now. So thanks to your integration, we're able to make use of it and also make THORChain accessible via RocketX to our users as well. And our focus is primarily, or our proprietary tech is primarily aggregating the centralized exchanges, where there are not many players in the market right now. And yeah, that's been our approach to collaborate with partners like you and THORChain on the deck side, whereas we put our energy and focus on aggregating the centralized exchanges, and at the end, to make it easy for our users to be able to access the entire global liquidity via a single UI. And also, we're going to launch our API soon for the dApps and wallets to be able to make use of this simplified access to global liquidity. So yeah, so that's pretty much what we're doing at RocketX.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for the high level primer. Martin, are you there? We also have Martin from Rango Exchange, or somebody from Rango Exchange.
Sure. So my name is Martin. I'm the head of marketing and business development in Rango. I think all the community, I mean the THORChain, know how Rango works. But I want to make a quick brief about Rango. Rango is the cross-chain DEX and bridge aggregator that recently enables interoperability between 53 blockchains, and we integrated plus 23 bridges, as well as plus 50 dexes into our DEX and bridge aggregator protocol. Also, with power of THORChain, we enabled interoperability between UTXOs such as BTC to other chains. For example, BTC to Starknet or BTC to Cosmos blockchains. Not even just, for example, Atom, but also Osmosis, Kujira, etc. And thanks to THORChain. Also, we have a great partnership with RocketX to bring this feature into their great platform as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hopefully, is my audio a little bit better now? Sorry, I switched the headphones up on you guys.
Yep.
Cool.
I can hear you
Yep.
clearly.
Cool. So I'm wondering a little bit about
Yep.
your guys partnership. So like for RocketX, what made you want to work with Rango as a cross-chain exchange partner, and then like also just across the board, like what made the partnership like really the ideal partnership for both of you guys? Because both you guys are really big players in like in your own space, in like the decentralized exchange aggregation and the decentralized exchange aggregation.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, on the deck side, we are primarily our approach has been to collaborate with the existing aggregators who has already done rango job. Like Rango is a perfect fit for us because we don't want to again go and aggregate each and every bridge over there, which Rango has already done amazing job, and the APIs are really developer friendly to integrate, and yeah, our users are enjoying both on-chain swaps and cross-chain swaps via Rango. And our approach has been to focus uh, our development efforts more on the proprietary tech, which is the aggregating the centralized exchanges, where we see there is a gap in the market. Not many players are there, so that's where we want to uh, put our development efforts and collaborate on the deck side with aggregators like Rango uh, to help our users access both leading centralized and decentralized protocols on our platform. So yeah, we are really glad we could um, find our partner in Rango and help our users.
Thank you, Kieran. Thank you.
Yeah, and from the Rango side, like I mean, is there anything like else to say about like the partnership between Rango and RocketX? Like I'm not sure exactly like what your guys' relationship is. So that's why I was just wondering. Like,
Oh
yeah.
no, in Rango side, I think one of the excited things that happened with our partnership was the unique side of the RocketX, because RocketX integrated other centralized exchanges, and we can play and users can check decentralized solutions like us with their how can I say it, centralized solutions, and they can choose between them. And I think that's a really great side that users in Web3 can check all the possibilities and choose between them.
Cool. Do you guys also aggregate all the centralized routes that RocketX does, or is it mostly just them consuming like your guys' decentralized exchange API?
Right now, just they integrated our solution, but we should see how they can prepare their API and other things.
Yes, we are right now working on launching our APIs. They're not yet ready. So maybe in a couple of months, we should be ready with our APIs. We already are getting pretty good traction from founders in my network already who used our app. They are more than happy to use our APIs for their D apps and wallets as well. So that's a good sign that we got pretty strong pipeline of interested clients to integrate our APIs. So really looking forward to launch our APIs, and yeah, maybe down the line, uh, you could see a lot of apps integrating our APIs as well.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to see. Just more, just especially like if Rango to pick up your guys' routes or just any aggregators that pick them up, and that's just more and more routes that's available to the wider space. Uh, like, is there anything notable to say about like any of the centralized exchanges that you guys support? Like any of them that like have really good price execution or like perform really well on certain rates, or just like anything interesting to say about that like aspect of things?
Sure. So that's the beauty of with RocketX is that uh, there is no. I mean, we keep getting this question: how many swaps go through DEX and how many swaps go through centralized exchange? right? And who provides better rates, and with the data we have so far, what we could conclude is there is no clear winner, right? So for a given swap combination, based on the amount and the time of execution, for the same combination, DEX could provide a better rate, and based on the amount, also the sometimes centralized exchange could provide a better rate, and that's where we play the role to make it really simple, that at any given point of time we get the codes from all the leading centralized and decentralized protocols on RocketX and help our users with the best rates at any given point of time. And what's even better is, even though we suggest this is the best exchange, user can always override based on their preference, and also you can compare between the parameters like what is the time taken for the swap, and what is the uh, minimum received for a specific route, and things like that. So, for example, THORChain provides the Bitcoin swaps, is in as less as 2 minutes, and whereas with centralized exchange, it takes anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes. So that's a kind of flexibility where user can choose, you know, if it is really pressing time, THORChain is obviously the best option. And also you can compare rates across exchanges and choose whichever exchange you want to route the swap.
Oh, great.
And
So you, sorry. So you calculating the time for the best route as well, right?
yeah, exactly. So each route also has an indication on what is the approximate time it takes for the swap to
Hmm.
complete.
Great.
Yeah, and then it also like I like it because it displays everything in a very nice way where you can easily see like what the difference is between execution and execution time and price and everything like that. So you can get a pretty clear picture of like these are the different rates on like, four different centralized exchanges and THORChain. So you can get a pretty clear picture of, all the different places you can go to actually like make the trade that you want to make.
Yeah, and another important thing which we came to know from our community is, there is certain centralized exchange. I don't want to name it, but some of our community says, okay, I don't want to route my swap via this centralized exchange, even though it is giving better rates because of whatever experience they had, and that's where the trust factor comes into picture. And yeah, the users they would prefer, let's say, to swap to route the swap via THORChain or Rango if they see the name, because they love the project, or they trust the exchange rather than other exchanges. So user at any given point of time have lots of options on RocketX. You never run out of options. You can pick your favorite exchange.
Great, really great. And just for my curiosity, do you have a number that how many users choose decentralized and how many choose decentralized, or you don't have a number? Just a rough number works.
Well, uh, the same user, most likely does swaps across centralized and decentralized
Mhm.
exchanges, because it's not like always some users route swaps only via centralized, or some users swap only via decentralized.
Mhm.
That's bit rare, but the same user swaps across both centralized and decentralized is what we have noticed. And also at a high level, the number of swaps going through DEX and centralized exchange is almost like 50-50, maybe 48-52, or 46-54. Not much to choose. It's
I
almost like
see.
50-50. Yeah.
Oh, great, really
And
great.
one more thing I would like to add here is, right now, we support around 90 blockchains on RocketX, and every other day there is a new blockchain coming up, a layer one, layer two blockchain coming up in the market, uh, and we are able to launch support to these upcoming blockchains, in as good as in 1 week's time with our CX integrations. And that's where also we're getting a lot of traction with because all these L1 L2s have a huge following, and they would want to have a decentralized way of accessing uh, their favorite blockchains, and that's where we are also finding a lot of traction and user adoption on those lines.
Do you guys find that most of the swaps are executed on like price execution? So whichever exchange gives the best price execution for the given trade, that's really the route that that ends up executing the swap. Or like, are there any patterns like in that regard? Because I'm just curious whether like are people in on your guys' exchange pretty much always going for the best price execution, or are they biased towards like certain they like trading on certain exchanges more than others, or like are there any patterns you found?
Yeah, everybody likes best rates, but what we also noticed is some users prefer the time over the best rate. So, for example, via centralized exchange, let's say the swap takes minimum 5 to 10 minutes, but via DEX, it's almost like instant. So, users prefer a DEX, when there is not much of difference in the code. And secondly, also users trust plays a major role, and the exchange, for example, I'm sure somebody sees THORChain, they would prefer THORChain because of the less time it takes, and also because of the trust they have on THORChain, right? So these are all the factors which we notice users have when choosing an exchange.
Interesting. And you said you guys were implementing a new blockchain basically every week. Like, do you guys have a fairly large team? Like, you must have a pretty like if you guys are shipping that much, then you guys must be like very like in sync and just constantly building. So I'm wondering like how big is the actual RocketX team?
So that's a pretty interesting question. So we are a team of 10, and across all the verticals, and our development team is around 4 people. And what helps us launch these new blockchains at a good pace is the way we have designed the product. So it's kind of a configuration rather than a lot of development that's involved in launching a new uh, a blockchain on RocketX. Uh, so that design is helping us where we could launch with minimal effort, and right now the time that takes to support a new blockchain is the effort involved in integrating a wallet, because wallet is the gateway to access any blockchain, right? So that's where we also have planned down the line to launch a walletless swap where user need not connect their wallet, and then they can still do the swap from any wallet of their choice. And that's where we're looking at supporting more than 200 blockchains before end of this year, where user can do cross-chain swap across 200 blockchains from any wallet of their choice.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the problems that we've noticed at Nine Realms is just while doing all this integration work and just saying like, who can we get to like use THORChain services in the back end? It really boils down to a wallet problem because even if you're an exchange, if you're a payments person, it all boils down to the signature because that's really where like the base execution of the blockchain actually happens. You need something to generate that signature, then broadcast it to the blockchain, right? So it's like you're always going to run into that problem with wallets and especially supporting new blockchains. It is all about the wallet, and EVM apps aren't going to have any experience doing Bitcoin transactions, and it's a whole new world for them. So I want to get some more perspective on your experience like with wallets and like so are you guys planning on supporting new wallets? Like, what's been your experience integrating new wallets? Because, like for example, I know THORSwap, one of the largest, one of the other like large multi-chain aggregators, like similar to Rango. Um, they've kind of baked that into part of their UX of their swap kit, which is like their kind of API that they're that they're shipping out to organizations, and what they're doing is they're baking the Wallet Connect kind of into that. So they have like the Ledger connection, the Trezor connection, XDeFi, obviously, but it all just boils down to like, yeah, everyone wants these trade routes, but then there's a lot of extra complexity when it comes to just like, oh, then we need to get new wallets. We can't just have a MetaMask connection. We gotta support a Bitcoin wallet. We gotta support a Cosmos wallet. We gotta do the EVM wallets too. Then we got to get the hardware wallets in separately. So yeah, I'm just wondering like how you guys are thinking about that, and like what your plan is like going forward to like is wallet support like a priority, or is that kind of is that just mixed in with all the other things and like less of a concern to you guys?
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting question, right? So to start with, our approach has been to identify those most used wallets with most downloads and most popular wallets in for each blockchain, and support them to start with, and then keep extending to other wallets as well, because that's the gateway to use the app. And that's exactly the problem we want to solve with walletless swap, because how many ever wallets you integrate, there are still some wallets, community keeps asking, when are you going to integrate this wallet, when are you going to integrate that wallet. So there is never ending, and there are new wallets coming up every week as well. uh, so that's where we believe this walletless swap uh, you know is something where people can use the app irrespective of whichever wallet they're using. So that's kind of going to solve till we launch support to the wallet, which we haven't yet supported on the app. So maybe I would also like to understand Rango's perspective, how they go about the wallets, because even they support lots of blockchains, and what's the criteria, how they approach about the wallets.
Yeah, are you there? Yeah, there you are, Martin.
Yep. Regarding the supporting the wallets, also I want to release some alpha news regarding that. We want to open source our wallet support that other projects can use and integrate other wallets easily. But our strategies is based on that how much users that each wallet has, and we want to integrate them to get the more users and do some, for example, co-announcement to bring all the attention about both projects. But in general, it's a really hard work because each blockchain, for example, non-EVM blockchains, has its own philosophy for integrating. For example, we are supporting StarkNet, so we need to integrate Argent or other wallets in the StarkNet ecosystem, and it's quite hard to bring all the best wallets in the UI.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to see you guys start to ship that Wallet Connect flow with with the Rango API, because I mean, especially because then that would also just mean as you guys ship more wallets and obviously more chains come, more chains comes more wallets. It's just inevitable. But then whoever integrates your guys API, whether it be RocketX or whoever else, also has access to like every single wallet that you guys support, and then can do pretty much any trade route, because the limiting factor in my eyes is a lot of the time the wallet, because you do like if you're doing a Bitcoin swap on Rango or RocketX, you need an XDeFi wallet, which is how many, like if you really think about it, how many Bitcoin users have XDeFi wallet versus Ledger versus like Trust Wallet
Mhm.
versus something else. And maybe not every single wallet connection is possible like at this moment, but it's obviously something that like we're iterating towards. Like yeah, something like Wallet Connect or something would be huge. I don't believe that's possible yet, just because of like the way they don't support like adding op
Mhm.
returns and things. But um yeah, just like with every new wallet connection, that's just more users that can use the actual swap service.
Exactly.
So yeah, we would love to see more wallets on both your guys' exchanges. Is there any in particular that you guys are looking into, or is it still like you guys still thinking about that problem?
Regarding the integrating more
Yeah, yeah,
wallets, right now we are supporting around 21 wallets. I should check it in our UI. But I think Sinan from our team is here. He's our I think if he want to add something, you can put it as a speaker and he can elaborate more about it.
sure, sure. I just invited him if he wants to come up. If not, that's cool too. Next question that I wanted to ask was, what kind of swap routes do you guys find are the most popular? And yeah, I'm just trying to get a gauge of like which routes do you think that like people um, really swap through a lot and just drive a lot of volume through your guys' protocols? Like, are there any that really stand out above the rest?
Yeah, I would let Rango take this question because they have lots of data.
Sure. In our side, for example, stables in Arbitrum, also Optimism, Ethereum, and BSC and Polygon are very popular, and other tokens in those blockchains. And for non-EVMs, BTC, let me think more. Yep, I think in the non-EVM side, the BTC is very popular in Rango as well. But the most popular chains is are these two blockchains. I mean, Arbitrum, Optimism, Ethereum, BSC, Polygon, and BTC.
Okay, when it comes to RocketX, we have observed, yeah, definitely across EVM, the numbers are high. But surprisingly, also we see a lot of cross-chain swaps where some other upcoming blockchains like Telos, Metis, and Tron network, you know, uh, and even we just launched Bitensor network yesterday, and we already have people starting to use Bitensor and Kaspa wallet, Kaspa network we launched today. So all these upcoming blockchains as well, we see the cross chain swaps happening. But yeah, definitely the most volume is with EVM blockchains.
It's definitely interesting that it's EVM blockchains still that are doing a lot of volume on the centralized routes because there are a lot of DEX options for EVM chains. So it is kind of interesting to me that
Yeah, I'm not
there's like so many
I'm not
centralized ones.
differentiating. Yeah, I'm not differentiating between centralized routes, but in general, because we support both. So in general, the cross chain swaps between EVM are high in volume, are high in numbers.
Gotcha.
Another things that maybe is another reason for seeing high volume in EVMs is because of, for example, is users can easily set up a MetaMask and do their trades, but for other non-EVM blockchains, it's pretty hard to find the best wallet, or maybe they are not familiar with the best wallet in those ecosystem as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And part of me does think that's why that THORChain just kind of is the way that it is. It's just it all boils down to the wallet, and it all really comes back to like if you have a wallet that people use and is easy to connect, then there's a lot of activity because it really just lubricates activity on chain. If people can do things really easily, and everyone like a lot of people use MetaMask and EVM wallets. Not a lot of people
Mhm.
use like I mean a lot of people do use XDeFi. Like I'm not saying that people don't. I love it. I use it like every day. But like like the larger Bitcoin space is not like like it's a new wallet. It's not like it's a Bitcoin wallet that's been around forever that a lot of like hardcore Bitcoiners use and things like that. That's one thing I wish we did see more was just like more innovation in the wallet space on that regard, because it's like I do feel like the Bitcoin wallet space is just kind of like it is stale. Like there's really no one like doing anything innovative on like the Bitcoin mainnet side. Although I do think there are some interesting things like going on in kind of the like the side chain land sort of stuff where they kind of can be a little more proprietary. But obviously that's not like that's like that doesn't actually help the core of the problem of like, yeah, we need better Bitcoin wallets that have like adoption, but also like you can
Exactly.
build on top of them.
Exactly. Especially most of the big boys and whales using Ledger, Trezor, or other hardware wallet.
Yeah, exactly. That's a pretty good point over there. And all the whales, the holding all the Bitcoin, when they started way back in 2009 or 10, the wallets at that point of time, I don't think most of them even support DeFi today. So there's no way they can connect their wallet to THORChain or RocketX or Rango, right? So that's where I think XDeFi is making pretty good progress. I see they're adding a lot of new blockchains, upcoming blockchains, like they added support to a lot of Cosmos recently, and even near blockchain. And this is kind of a next generation wallet that's going to make it really simple for the users to be able to use one wallet and have all their tokens on different blockchains via single wallet. And you can still also connect your ledger as well via XDeFi. So I really like what XDeFi, the approach they're taking. And yeah, I started using it a lot lately as well, because of the user friendliness and also be able to connect to Ledger wallet.
Yeah, it's true. I almost forgot that there was Ledger connection directly in XDeFi, so you can just even if you don't have Ledger support or like baked in, kind of like THORSwap does, where you can just connect it without XDeFi. It is nice to be able to just do it through the wallet. I would love to see like just raw Ledger support on your guys' platforms, though. I think that would be like a really nice step forward, and just in terms of like the total number, like just supporting more wallets, and especially wallets that like a lot of people use to secure their funds. So I would love to see it if you guys put if you guys had Ledger support like baked into the API that RocketX can consume. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Sure, that's something we started working already. So yeah, maybe a month or two we should be able to support.
Awesome. You guys are shippers, so maybe
Hardware.
like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, wallet is bit time taking.
Oh yeah, I know. Cool. Also, if people from the audience want to come up and ask any questions towards, just about THORChain, RocketX, or Rango, we can definitely open up the floor and see if anyone wants to come up. I did have like one or two more questions just about like centralized exchange aggregation. I'm wondering like, like how does it work from like RocketX's point of view? Do you guys have to like go to all these centralized exchanges and say like, hey, we need API keys, or do you like start a partnership or something like that? Like, like how permissionless is it? Like, how is it easy for you guys to start aggregating more and more centralized exchanges, or is it as easy as just like getting an API key and just sending trades out to them?
Well, there is lots of process involved in integrating a centralized exchange. To start with, we work as a exchange brokers with the centralized exchanges, and then there is lots of due diligence, and yeah, we make use of the APIs to integrate the centralized exchanges. And again, it's a cumbersome process because different exchanges have different APIs and how different ways of different nomenclature, different naming conventions. So everything is different, the way their code works and everything, right? So that's where our primary job is to make it really simple for the end user and give that seamless experience irrespective of whichever exchange they're doing the swap on RocketX, right? So I think that's Martin also, he can share his experiences or the pain points while building Rango, because I can really understand how when you are integrating multiple blockchains or multiple bridges and exchanges, as an aggregator, the one thing it's really important is to ensure that your end user has the same seamless experience, irrespective of whichever exchange in the background is what you're routing the US swap via, right? So yeah, that's been the major challenge when it comes to integrating either with the leading centralized exchanges or the leading dexes out there. And right now we have integrated top 6 centralized exchanges, and we aim to integrate at least the top 10 centralized exchanges on RocketX. Yeah, Martin, maybe you can share some of your experience as well integrating. You
Sure.
integrate a lot of exchanges over there. Yeah.
I think the most important things when you want to integrate other blockchains, especially for non-EVM chains, is to bring the best user experience for users. For example, you should bring the best bridge that don't face with many, for example, transaction failure or other stuff. Also, for the DEX side, you should choose between the best liquidity in the space that you want to bring the best rate for all the users. I think it's a most hard part for the integrating the blockchains in the aggregators.
Interesting. One last question from myself. I just wanted to know if like there's anything that you think like the THORChain protocol should be doing to like just have a better product for you guys. Like, are there certain chains, like certain just other features that that would make your guys' experience better, or your guys' user experience better? Like like really demanded chains, or just things that you think would really just level up the whole experience and just make it a better product in general.
Well, yeah, the more the merrier. But again, the pace at which the new blockchains are launching, I mean, it's really difficult to keep up with how many blockchains are being launched. And every other day you come across a news that some new blockchain has raised some hundreds of millions of funding. So it's good that a lot of funding is happening in the space and a lot of innovation hopefully follows. And at the same time, it's a challenge to pick up which blockchains you want to spend your energy, time, and effort in supporting. So that's where we typically get the requests from our community. When you have really active community, they keep coming up with suggestions and recommendations which to pick from. So we also consider the feedback from our community while picking up new blockchains. So yeah, so I mean it's a challenge. I don't have an answer, which blockchain we look for. So every blockchain is good. So I don't know, maybe Martin, you can share your views.
That's the best approach, chain agnostic. Yeah, we are the same. Also, for example, we listen to our community based on the which blockchain we should bring, or other blockchains community that want to bring, or they want to enable this interoperability via Rango. So we also integrate them as well. But in total, we are chain agnostic like you, Kiran, because we like all the blockchains.
Cool. So I have one question for both of you. So it's like, the crypto space is very tricky, right? So you see a lot of scams and, exit. The trust is basically the trust is very less when it comes to trusting any exchange, right? So the question is in two parts. why you chose to be Anon? And secondly, how do you deal with establishing the trust factor being Anon? And what are the challenges you face? How do you overcome them?
Yeah, sure. I can kind of go into this question a little bit. I'm not really that like anon. People have met me. Like I've been around. The Nine Realms team isn't really that anon. But a lot of the core team, like the original founding team of THORChain, like does choose to be anon, and I do think that's important for there not to be, especially when you're talking about like a blockchain. Like you definitely see these figures that kind of just like control the way things go, even if they don't actually have control of like the direction of the project. People still listen to like authority figures. I think it's just a human thing to just like want to just pick leaders and like really follow. I think just trust has to, like, trust comes from THORChain. I think in just its transparency and just being just really adhering to the principles of the space really well, especially just like obviously being open source. Like you could never run THORChain if it was closed source or partially closed source, because there would be no trust there, because then it's like, oh yeah, there's anons operating this this bridging protocol. Basically it just doesn't really work. So I think just the whole economic design of THORChain, where being the whole concept of the network is like, hey, this is a cross-chain exchange run by anons, because every single node is by default anonymous. So like the whole design of the network is structured around an exchange that is run by it's just run by a blockchain, which is operated by anonymous individuals. So it's like a very interesting dynamic that you don't really see in a lot of other places, but it just really needs to come at the core of transparency and just being just really an open and honest with everything that is like everything that happens. And I think that's part of the reason why I started doing these spaces, just because I found it pretty difficult to like know what's going on in THORChain. And then I just wanted to like start doing these spaces to just share what people are talking about, like what's the community discussion, because unless you're like really in those spaces and like doing that discussion, which most people just don't have time to do that because people got lives, like you're not going to know, and then you're not going to know what to trust. So I think it's definitely helped that like that like doxed figures, like and obviously like notable people like Eric Voorhees and other like notable like crypto figures are very like behind THORChain and like really resonate with the idea there. So yeah, I think it just got to come from transparency, also just longevity. Like you can't build trust like in a day or even a year or even like a couple of years, right? It's a very long process, I think. And I think we've reached a good point where I think people do trust that THORChain is like a great like functioning product. Obviously, like wallets like Trust Wallet have like put their reputation on saying like, hey, THORChain is like a noteworthy like project that actually like it's a reliable exchange, because they wouldn't integrate it into their exchange otherwise. And everyone that does these integrations, it's a reputational risk when they do an integration, because if all of a sudden THORChain were to like all the nodes were to start doing something they weren't supposed to, then it's on Trust Wallet that they integrated us. So it's like it is like as much as we like to be trustless, it is a big web of trust that's in this space, and just being open and transparent is the way to be. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I mean, once Trust Wallet has integrated, then obviously everybody else trusts it, right? But the question is, being Anon, how did you first break, get this deal for the Trust Wallet to integrate you? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't me. So.
Oh no, in some levels, Yeah, in some levels you should do, for example, doxing or sign a staff or sign the contract. So this is not 100% Anna, okay? Also, as the familiar said, this is all about the building the trust in this ecosystem. Because eventually you should dox or do something to get, for example, funds or other things.
Yeah. Also, like everyone, a lot of people know each other in this space. Like the people that have been around
Exactly.
in this space for a long time, everybody knows each other, and like just like going around to like conferences and things, like just saying like, oh yeah, I'm with THORChain or whatever. Like people know that, and they know other people who like know people who use it or work on it or whatever. So it's like it's a very small industry. Like this industry is extremely tiny, and like everyone that's building the big protocols kind of knows each other is the vibe that I get. Obviously not like
Okay.
me personally, not having been around since like the very beginning of this network. So like I don't know how things were like back in the day, but um, there's the number of like builders in this space is in like the thousands, like uh order of magnitude, right? It's not like it's in the millions, or where it's like, oh yeah, how could I possibly know this other engineer who works across the world? It's like people the there's a very small concentration of people who work in this space, and it means there's a lot of cross pollination between all the different teams and individuals here.
Yep. Next time, when both of you see me in any event, please come and meet me.
Yeah, are you guys going to anything in the
Sure,
future?
sure.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
I'm not. Oh, sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. Go on. No, I just want to mention that I'm not a travel plan, but maybe in the future I will,
Yeah, let us know. I'm always looking for places to go up and meet some
for
new people in
sure,
the space.
for sure. What about you, Kiran?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to meet you guys at some events, so maybe sometime in the near future.
Awesome,
For sure,
awesome.
guys. Um, well, no one came up and asked for any questions, so I think we're all good here. Oh yeah, sorry. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to say if there's any announcements you guys want to make, or just anything like up on the horizon in your guys' roadmaps that you want to highlight.
Yeah, sure. All I would request is to just try the app and share your feedback, and we are open to community feedback uh, and I think our community played a major role in shaping the product because we have been working very closely with our community as and when we release something. Uh, a community is there to try their hands and immediately share their feedback, and it's a gradual process where now I can confidently say that we have a very mature product with very less hassles or turnaround time with the transactions. So yeah, please give it a try and share your feedback. And if you're looking for some additional features, please feel free to you know join our Telegram or Twitter and let us know. So more than happy to work on those. And yeah, please follow our Twitter and Telegram and stay up to date with the project.
Great.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Also, I just want to add that our V2 is around the corner, is in the under the final test, and we will release it very soon. So most of the routes, I mean, all the EVM routes will be done with the one single signing transactions. So stay tuned.
Wait, sorry. What did you say was around the
Awesome.
corner?
Awesome.
Stay
I
tuned.
missed the key word there.
Our V2, yeah, stay tuned about it. Um, our V2, our smart contract
Okay,
V2.
cool, awesome. We're looking forward to that. You guys have done a great job with the integrations, and congrats on getting it shipped to RocketX. So, well, I got to make sure to get you guys up on the website soon. So I will do that as soon as I hop off here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure. Sure. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining. I'll also try and get this conversation up on YouTube. But yeah, awesome. If you guys ever want to do spaces like this again, then let's do it.
Sure, absolute pleasure for having me over here, and anytime pleasure talking with you, Martin and Familiar Cow. Looking forward to more such interactions, and maybe very soon we meet in person as well. Hopefully.
Awesome.
Sure. It's our pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much, both
All
of
right,
you.
thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day and a good weekend. See ya.
You too.
Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. You
Have a
too.
good
Bye.
weekend. Bye.